Welcome to yet another episode. This is still season 1 of our podcast. And today we are talking to yet another amazing, exceptional Wonder Woman. Her name is Lena. She speaks 5 languages, and she will tell a lot about what else she's doing for a living. For what does she find exciting about this country, about everywhere where she was. Can you start with your name, please?
Yeah. So my name is Elena. I can go with Lena. It's easier to pronounce. I'm coming from Moldova, and thank you for noticing. Yeah, I do speak 5 languages, and that's because Moldova used to be part of Soviet Union, and then I used to travel a lot. So yeah, but my goal is to know 10 one day.
10 languages. Like 5 is not enough.
Actually, my neighbor, she speaks 7.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she speaks 7 languages fluently. I think like it's Albanian, French, German. She's Italian. And yeah, she's wonderful.
Very cool. Yeah, that's some inspiration for you.
True.
Cool. So, okay, you're coming from Moldova. What was the reason for you to realize that you need a change, you need to try maybe new environments, new societies, new locations? Like, why did you come all the way from Moldova to San Francisco?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I came to the US after my graduation, and I always had a dream to have an American MBA. So I came to Seattle, not to San Francisco first, for my graduate studies. And I always wanted to kind of escape from Moldova because coming from the post-Soviet Union country, which cannot offer you the same opportunities as the US, I always used to say that the US is like Disneyland for entrepreneurs.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a country with big opportunities.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's measured in, I would say, oversimplified way, but it's a very efficient way to measure your success. Is basically there is so much money in this country, and it's pretty much if you figure out a way how to make yourself useful and how to solve other people's problems, they will come back and they will make you rich. So if that's your goal, like pretty much any entrepreneur, then you are in the right place.
Correct. Agree.
Yeah. So now tell us a bit more about what exactly you thought you want to do when you came over, and how did it translate into what you actually are doing right now?
So I spent 4 years as a project manager for a transportation company in Seattle. I was studying also. So I didn't really have a goal because for the first 2 years, I thought that I'll go back home to Moldova or Europe. Then I changed my mind. I tried multiple things like an online fashion store, flower store. So I ended up in San Francisco, and I decided to build something bigger where I see growth, basically. I started basically ClosetCycle. This is the name of the company.
Yes.
It's a marketplace for women to lend and rent designer pieces where they can make money, they can save money, they can make good for the environment, and also they can make friendships because it's a community marketplace. So the idea came from my personal problem. And speaking of going back to Moldova, back in time, so when I used to be a kid, I was always swapping clothes with my friends. And I think you are very familiar with that concept.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because
you grow out of things, and they become either too big or too small. And like for context, but I don't know if it's common for other cultures, but I'm also coming from ex-USSR country, and back in my day, my parents never buy what fits. They always buy something which is 2 or 3 sizes bigger because, tomorrow I'm going to grow. So it's just a way to save money on, on kids' clothing. So I guess that's what
true.
you're referring to.
That's true. I am very familiar with that. And actually it makes me laugh because it reminds me of my neighbors and my my friends, my cousins. They would buy a jacket and all the kids in the neighborhood, they'll wear the same jacket basically.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, so as I said, I was swapping clothes with my friends when I was in high school, when I was in university, because, I mean, when you are coming from a country as Moldova, you cannot afford that, like, beautiful, expensive outfits. So you always, like, swap clothes with your friends. So I was very familiar with that concept. And as I grown and I moved around, things changed, basically. I moved to the U.S., and I was lucky enough because in Seattle, they have a very huge Moldavian community. And there are so many Ukrainians and those people from post-Soviet Union countries. So I had this circle of friends, and swapping clothes with them was something like very common, very like we were doing this on daily basis. I remember we will have like an event once a week at least. And we will book like clothes from our friends' closets in advance, basically, like, hey, can I have this red dress of yours like for the next week? And my friends will say like, yeah, okay, no problem. So I was not thinking of ClosetCycle at that time, but just before the pandemic, I decided to move to California from Washington State.
Right.
And I remember while packing my my wardrobe, I gave away, honestly, 50% of my clothes. And I gave it away to my friends. And I realized at that point of time that I really use only like 20% of my wardrobe. And other than that, like other 80%, it goes untouched. And what a waste. First of all, I felt so bad because it's such a bad investment to buy these clothes I basically never use. So I moved to California, and I moved to San Francisco, and I decided that I lost this circle of friends to swap clothes with.
Right.
And I met my neighbor that speaks 7 languages. Yeah. And she introduced me to other girls, and I created this WhatsApp group. I added all of them, and I just asked people like, hey, can you share your dresses or stuff you are like open to borrow or open to swap with this circle, this group? And people, they just started to share pictures, and I was already working on my customer discovery. I was asking questions. I really understood very quickly that this idea works, and people, they are open to share their wardrobes. And I understood that they don't really use those clothes.
Right.
They use only 20% of their wardrobe.
And I think that's common because clothing is something which is very like impulse driven and emotional. You go to a store, you like something on you buy it.
Yeah.
And then you come home and bam, I don't really like it that much already.
True.
And then maybe you procrastinate to return it, and that's how you end up with like extra dress, which you kind of like, but not really. And then you think about, what do I do with this? And you can swap it with somebody who likes it a bit more, and they can give you something in return. So that's quite common. But there are other companies where it's basically peer-to-peer garments exchange. Like Stitch Fix does something like this. I know that there are a couple more. How do you differentiate your company from all of this?
So yes, I am very familiar with those companies. We Rent the Runway, and there are others like Fashion Pass, Nuuly. All of them, they are inventory heavy.
Yes.
They hold their own inventory, and we differentiate because we don't deal with shipping, with stock management, with cleaning especially. And their inventory is honestly limited. Our inventory is unlimited because, for example, we have that many users, and like you can rent stuff from Balenciaga and Jimmy Choo to something from like local designers, something very unique and vintage. And basically that's how we differentiate from them. And Rent the Runway, they are subscription based. I will say I tried them by myself, and it doesn't inspire me because it's not something very unique. I will say it's more convenient.
Yeah.
Because as you said, you receive the box. It's not, for example, if I want to go, I don't know, Burning Man concert, or I need a very vintage, unique stuff where I cannot find this on Rent the Runway. And here I can basically rent from celebrities, from local designers, from influencers. This is I think that's amazing.
What happens if I want to use services of your company, but I cannot find exactly what I want? Is there a way to say, maybe either put a custom order or tailor things, modify things?
You can, at this point, we don't have that many lenders, so we don't have like thousands of listings, but you can always, you can reach out to us on Instagram, and we will find the desired garment for you. We actually had a girl, she had a wedding, so we helped her to find a wedding dress. We just found someone else on Instagram who texted them, and we said like, hey, do you still have this dress? And she said yes. And I asked her like, hey, are you open to rent it out to make some money? You can set your own price. And she said yes, absolutely. And she uploaded the dress. Another girl just rented out. So yeah, I think it's amazing. So if you have any, I would say, events coming and you need a garment, you just can reach out to us to hello@ClosetCycle or Instagram and let us know. We'll always try to find the desired outfit for you.
So we'll put the Instagram handle here. Can you spell it out for us?
It's ClosetCycle. Instagram is ClosetCycle app.
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to remember.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. So basically you reach out to like actual real people who have stuff which they specifically for wedding, because wedding dress is something which you typically use once, but if you're like serial like divorcer and marrier, then maybe not once.
And we have actually, sorry for interrupting you, but we have actually already data around wedding dresses.
Right.
They can be used like 3 or 4 times. And I know we just it's crazy, but we are trying to capture as many information as we can. And for those wedding dresses, so you can basically use them only 3 or 4 times because of the tailoring, and it just gets ruined pretty fast.
My understanding of the wedding environment is you start off, like super clean, super like bright, all white. You tailor specifically to look the best, to take the best pictures. And then as the festivities progress, that's where, stuff can happen. Say, you drop some food on that like white dress and whatnot, and then you need to figure out how to clean it. A lot of like wedding dresses, they are only for like dry cleaning. You can't really wash them. So what do you do in this case?
So it's first of all, let's start with how the process works. So for lenders, it's just a very easy. It's less than 2 minutes to go sign up, and you just can start uploading items to the website. So how it works, basically, lenders, they're responsible for shipping, but it's very easy because once you receive a rental request, you just you can choose, you can reject or you can accept the request. So if you accept the request, you'll receive 2 shipping labels, one to put on the top of the box and another one inside to send the garment to the renter.
Yes.
So they can use it to ship it back to you. It's very easy, right? So speaking of cleaning, when you list an item, you have another option to set up your cleaning fee. You can charge them up to, I don't know, we suggest like $20, $30. It depends on the garment. As the owner, you know better. So yeah, you set up the rental price and the cleaning fee, which is completely goes to you. it's all yours. And our goal for the future, we want to partner with eco cleaners, basically, to take care, because they are sustainable. We have one here in San Francisco. So our plan is to use them as a drop-up and pick-up location as well.
That's a very interesting model. So it sounds like you don't really maintain like any kind of warehouses
No.
where the clothing sits and you do anything. It's basically directly to whoever lands, from whoever lands to whoever wants to get it. Okay, that's very scalable. I love it. How do you maintain the quality? So basically, how do you know that whatever is listed is actually what the customer is going to get?
You mean if the item is authentic, or?
Yeah, if it's maybe like a knockoff, fake, or if it is just in the condition which is just, maybe it's just torn, or like another one is, when people try to sell stuff, they just take pictures from the internet and it's not what they actually are. Even same model, but looks maybe a bit differently, so how do you like any kind of quality control? How do you make sure that?
So because we don't see the items, we don't carry the inventory. So the renter, he has she has the option to file for the return or refund if she thinks the item is fake and it's fully refunded. Just she needs to ship back the item in the same package within 24 hours, basically. If you, let's say you rented something from me, like a purse, and you think it's fake, so in order to be fair, you just, as a renter, you have 24 hours to use the prepaid shipping label, put the item back, and send it back to me. To the lender,
to you
actually.
No,
I wish to me personally. No, you have to send the item to return the item back to the owner. And we have different types, different categories as like brands and designer stuff, and up to like a very unique local designers. For example, I think you know Tuan Tran. He is
he does
sustainable stuff.
He basically recycles a lot of like old clothing and then creates amazing things. I'm going to post some of his work somewhere, either here or there. I don't know, depending on the post editing.
Correct. Yeah, and he's like one I just gave him as an example because he is sustainable. He uses recycled materials, which I really love. And for example, for garments, as he has, how would you? I don't know how you can basically control the quality because it's something very unique. So. I guess if they are not satisfied, they just can return the item. But I don't know how you cannot be satisfied with such a beautiful garment as Tuan's, let's say.
Right. Though his stuff is something you wouldn't wear every day, though, right?
Correct.
It's a bit more
special occasion, I would say.
Special occasion, maybe evening dress to go out and to like maybe red carpet, kind of.
Yes, and we support those like local designers and creators by offering them a platform where they can make money by monetizing their own collection. Because think of that, there are so many students, like new graduates or designers, they have this collection. They use this for like runway shows or photo shooting, and it's not new. They probably cannot sell it, but they can still make some money and put cash in their pocket by renting it out.
Okay, so for our listeners, can you give an idea of basically so imagine like I'm a student at like Academy of Arts or something, so I specialize in like clothing design and maybe production. So if I have some ideas and I do clothing myself, how much money can I make if I partner up with your company?
So first of all, if you're a student, we have a form on our website, which is partnered with ClosetCycle. It's specific for students and for designers, creators. You fill out the form and we'll reach out to you. We also offer free concierge service, which means we will upload all your inventory. You don't have to worry about uploading pictures and description. because I know like you probably are busy, and we offer this for free. And in terms of how much money you can make, it's a good question. It depends again on the season. I will say we have and basically a spreadsheet which we can show them. It depends on how many times the customer will rent the dress, how many times per year. Again, I would say I don't have a clear number, but it can be up to 4,000 per week, or it depends on the garment, or it can be like 400, not per week, sorry, per month. My bad.
I'm
I
like,
wish.
what?
No, my bad.
I need to quit my job.
No. Sorry. Okay, we just, this girl, if you go on our website, we have a beautiful dress. It's a wedding dress. So the girl, she listed this for 5,500 or five.
Rent.
To rent for 4 days only. And I thought it's a scam. Like probably I don't know. It was by mistake. And we contacted her on Instagram and asked her like, hey, is this the price? And she said, yes, because I paid like $70,000 for the dress. And she gave
$70,000.
17.
17.
Yes, 17,000. And I checked the dress myself online, and yes, it's like custom made. I forgot the name of the designer, but if you go on our website, it's still there. It's crazy. Of course, the dress is beautiful. It's amazing. It's made with feathers, but so if you rent a dress like this, yeah, you can make. It depends.
So that's what they are listing items for. Do they actually have somebody who is willing to pay this amount of money?
We have a designer. She's based in Florida. Her name is Sonia. So she specializes on tulle gowns. So she rented out last month 2 of her dresses. So if I'm not mistaken, one dress is, because the cheapest one I know it's like around 280. So she rented last month 2 of them.
Wow.
I guess she made like 800. But again, it depends how many items you have. It depends on season, I will say. Yeah. And I guess I'll have a better answer for you later on when we have more traction, more items on the website, more data.
Your company is somewhat fresh, and you started this year. You don't have that many data points, as you mentioned. So what I wanted to learn from you is, over the first 4 months of the company existence since you launched, how did it go? What did you learn? What are your plans for next year? And what would be something you would do differently if you knew everything you know by now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first of all, we launched 4 months ago, but it took quite a while. I didn't have a co-founder, a technical co-founder, and therefore I found an offshore team to build the MVP for me. And in the meantime, I was looking for someone. For the co-founder, I was interviewing those people, and I would say I was quite picky because it's like a marriage. I knew that I have to be with this person for 5 years. And the MVP was done. I basically, when the MVP was ready, I actually found my co-founder. She's an amazing person. I met her actually a month and a half, I will say. And I understood this the moment I met her. She was in love with the idea. She had these like huge plans for ClosetCycle. She wanted basically to change the way we consume fashion, and I loved it. We clicked right away, and I understood it's her. And when she took over, she got deeper into the code, and because we want a very strong product, a scalable product. She told me like, hey, we have to fix this and that. And now basically what she's doing, she's fixing those bugs. We are even considering because we are a web version now only. So we are considering to to launch the software, the app. As I was saying, you asked me about the future, the next year, right? And so we are planning to launch the app in 2023. Now we are a web only. And speaking of that, because we are community oriented, we are trying to build not only the marketplace but a community around that. So we are developing an algorithm right now. She just joined, but my co-founder. But we are developing an algorithm to basically to connect people with the same body shape and the same style, which I think is an amazing feature. So we are planning to have that in 2023, and I don't know, the fashion rental industry, it grows like 10% year to year, and it's expected to grow like to 180 billion by 2030, which I think it's like a massive opportunity. And I don't know, I think just the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
We have huge goals. We want to be the next Airbnb of fashion.
Yeah, definitely Airbnb peer-to-peer rentals. This is, I think, in current economy, which is based on gigs, like one-time things, experiences.
Sharing economy, especially after I saw what Airbnb was doing for their apartments, what Uber was doing for their cars. This is just an underutilized asset, an expensive asset that basically can be monetized, and it's sitting there in our wardrobes.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give to people who kind of wanna like become like full-time entrepreneurs, but for some reason they have their own maybe like limitations or beliefs that they are not ready?
So, yeah, I remember myself. I was I had my full-time job while also working on customer discovery and working like more and more on ClosetCycle. So eventually I quit my job. Yeah. And when I took that decision, my parents, they asked me like, hey, what are you doing? And I told them about ClosetCycle, and they had like, sharing clothing, like, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you sure you want to quit your job? And honestly, I was so afraid of not fail, I guess. And I didn't have knowledge. I never went to like a fashion institute or whatever. But yeah, I had my friends. I had huge support next to me. I was lucky to have a nice, great fiancé that he really supported me, and he told me like, hey, just you have to start. And he shared his story with me, and yeah, I just took this decision. And an advice that I'll give, just to never be afraid. Always ask questions, even if you don't know, even if you don't have, even if you're not expert and you don't have experience and knowledge. And always ask questions, and remember there are people, they will help you. And it's better to start and fail than never start, and you'll always regret, and you'll never see what you are capable of.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, the saying here is that, it's better to try and fail than to regret that you never tried.
Correct. Yeah.
But then the reality comes in and says, like, where are you going to get, what are you doing with the money? Because when you're raising capital, it's someone else's money. So Correct. They trusted you, and then you failed them. How does it work with like all the obligations, loans, repayment? I
never raise money.
Oh.
I don't know yet, but trust me, I I have the same question, and the Theranos story, right? That's a good example. I don't know. You are always responsible, but listen, you never know the answers. You never know. Just try to do your best. Just try to work hard, and I think the persistence is the key.
Oh yeah, of course, it's grind, but it's also knowing where you are going with all this grind.
And
it's like if you're just grinding on one place, then you'll just exhaust yourself.
And if those people, they invested in you, they didn't invest in your idea, they invested in you as a person. So they believe you can build something great. So you have to believe in yourself as well.
Of course, yeah, you are your own biggest fan to start with. I never thought about how much you can rely on yourself, actually. It's like, it feels like when you work in teams, when you work in, those hierarchies and interdependent cultures, you feel like, somebody else used to deliver things to you. And this makes sense if you're like highly specialized, but humans evolved into that. And it wasn't so long ago when humans were doing everything. Like we've been hunters-gatherers for like almost 1 million of years. And then we are doing what we are doing now for like how many? Maybe 100 of years only, So those resources are in you. It's in the DNA. So just basically trust in yourself and knowing that you can just plow through.
And look at us.
Yeah, stories like you are definitely inspiring.
You are same as I'm coming from Eastern Europe. I'm not sure you're here yourself or you're with your family, but I met so many people there coming themselves here to the US, which is like super far. They're just adapting to the new culture, new people. Everything is new. You are here yourself. You have to figure it out. So same, I think, with any startup. Just start. Just take that decision and move on, and you'll always find a way to solve the problem.
Yeah. Like, how do you do things like the health insurance, for example, retirement savings, or do you not care about this at all?
I don't care about retirement savings.
Oh.
When I do, actually, I do. I do, but I just try to manage my time and focus. And when I started ClosetCycle, it's self-funded. I always basically spend all my money on ClosetCycle. So I'm not trying to think about retirement right now, I would say.
But well, I don't know. Do you have any like this safety net? So if things go totally wrong, like for people who are not first generation, they can just always move back with their parents, which might be boring, but you will always have like a place to sleep and maybe a good meal from your mom.
Yeah, I think for me it's just going back to a big company, work as a project manager, probably something like that, but it's not something that will make me happy.
Oh yeah, of course.
100%.
So I can relate to that. So I do balance the 9 to 5 job for a company, and also running this media business, Sublime Studios,
which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And the feeling you get when you make your own decisions, it's this invigorating feeling of freedom. I can do whatever I want, and I'm the only one responsible for my decisions. It's very different from when stuff comes to you from somebody else's decision-making process, and then you have timelines and deadlines. It comes with security, of course. So like if you work for a company, then they give you all those benefits and whatnot. When you're an entrepreneur, especially in the very beginning, it's very risky. As soon as you grow and you made it, that's where you can maybe delegate. Well, maybe for you it's a bit too early, but say next year you mentioned that you want to build more software around giving customers new functionalities, matching them, maybe throw a bit of machine learning here and there,
Absolutely.
So yeah, you can delegate. Maybe you can hire somebody who will run the technology department in your company. So this is where you bring in people who can do things for you and even better than you, because they have experience and knowledge in that. And you kind of like stay close to what's important for you, which is defining the vision, defining the future of the company. The very beginning is probably the most interesting. Yeah.
That's true. And it's stressful,
It is. So very good point. How do you deal with stress what do you do outside of? So imagine like the day doesn't go well. Like you wanted to like make a sale, the sale doesn't go through, or you wanted to get things like launched and delivered and something. Say your vendor like fails, and or like your favorite cat have something happen to. Do you have like pets? No.
I do have.
Okay.
I do have a puppy.
Okay. So imagine something happens to your puppy and so on. So horrible day. You just cannot push through. You're like, well, okay, it's 4 p.m. I'm done. I don't want to hear about anything else at all. You've probably been in situations like this because in the early stages of entrepreneurship, it's quite common. So how do you deal with this? What do you do?
Yeah, gym.
Okay,
It's like
that helps.
I have a membership to the Bay Club, which is 5 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's walkable. So all the time I basically feel stressed or lazy, or I don't know what to do, and I have a blurry mind. I go to the gym, and why gym? Because it's healthy, it's good for my body, and it teaches me how to, just move forward if you don't want to. Even when you work out, you are lazy, you don't want to, but it's good for you, so you keep going. So this gives me kind of power and strength, and it also helps me to deal with stress. That works for me.
And you don't fall back to like typical, like stress relieving mechanisms. Well, people drink, people take other substances which can modify their perception of reality, or people might just isolate, go into like retreats. So when say you take off deep into the forest and spend like whole week there without any technology at all.
Never tried. Never tried that. I love hiking, and I love traveling.
Yeah.
I traveled to, I think, 4 countries this year. I love traveling so much. If it will be up to me, I'll actually just... honestly, it's a dream of mine to rent the Airstream trailer and travel around the U.S. I think it's something very beautiful, so I can have my puppy next to me, and I just will spend a year of my life just seeing the U.S. I never been to the Grand Canyon. I heard it's amazing, it's beautiful. But I never been to any retreats or any other things like that.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like it might be a goal for you then at some point when you put enough like blood, sweat, and tears, as people say, into your business, and your business finally is self-sustainable, and you can take some time off. You can actually go and see. Grand Canyon is definitely something to see, and like I would recommend to go on the South Rim. Because Grand Canyon spans 4 states. It's long.
Wow, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and when people go to Grand Canyon, then think about like Vegas and the West Rim. There isn't much actually happening at West Rim. Yes, if you want to understand what Grand Canyon is, then the West Rim is very accessible. But if you want to enjoy the best out of Grand Canyon, you go to South Rim, and this is from Arizona side. I think there is a town called Flagstaff.
Flagstaff, Arizona, yeah, familiar
Yes.
with that.
You fly there, and then you can either rent a car there and just drive for like maybe an hour north, and you will find yourself in the Grand Canyon Disneyland. There are like hotels there, all kinds of resorts, like restaurants and everything, and this together with all the hiking, all the nature, all the views, a lot of like opportunities to take amazing content and whatnot. So this is the place to be.
Yeah, thank you for the advice. We'll definitely.
And then if you keep traveling east from South Rim, you can end in a place called Horseshoe Bend. Yes, and Horseshoe Bend. Well, it's a band of the
Oh, okay.
of the very same river which made the canyon, and it looks like a horseshoe. So it's, it comes your way, and then like this very famous place. But what is even maybe more famous in the very same location is the Antelope Canyon.
I heard of that.
Yeah, which is different river, and this river is still active, so it can, it can go up and down. But when it's down all the way, then the walls of that canyon look swirly, and it's a very famous photo. Well, I mean, I'm going to post photos, but pretty much everyone knows about this. So it's a town. I don't remember the name of it. It's a very small town, maybe 3,000 people only, and all of them survive off of the tourism, off of the tourist business, where people are coming there to stay for a few days specifically to see the horseshoe and the Antelope Canyon.
Wow.
And it's all the way up in the mountains, and the way I figured it out, because I was just driving. When you drive around, you don't really feel much of a change of the altitude, because it takes you a while to go all the way up. You go to a store, right, and there are all those like cans and this packaged like yogurt stuff and so on, and they're all puffy, because they were packed all the way where the air pressure was higher.
Yeah.
And when it goes all the way up, they look like they are expired and spoiled. But this is just normal there, so I don't know how they figure it out.
Yeah, because of the altitude, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
How does your work week look like? Is it typical, maybe 60, 70 hours per week for entrepreneurship, or?
No, I wake up in the morning and...
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So everything I do basically is work. I work until the end of the day, the evening basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I worked honestly until 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to sleep around 1:40 because I watched one movie then. Mm-hmm. Because I felt that I need to take 30 minutes break before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically what I do is working, and it's basically, honestly, I wear multiple hats because I have these calls with my we still have that team, the offshore team that I was telling you about, and my co-founder, so we will jump on a call with them. So I have to work with my co-founder and basically on customer journey for the new product, and also working on strategy and thinking of future fundraising, reaching out to designers, to fashion influencers, working on marketing strategies. There are so many things to do. I don't even have time for everything. Working on basically, we just found a company for our mailers. We decided to offer lenders those recyclable and sustainable mailers that can be used up to 5 times. Because, as I said, we are trying to promote sustainability. And those mailers, they are made of recyclable materials and can be used multiple times, which I think it's amazing. And again, I mentioned that fashion industry is the third largest, basically, industry that emits 10% of the CO2 in the entire world. It's more than entire that international flights and maritime shipping combined together. So one of our mission is to
reduce that. Yeah,
yes.
Of course. Yeah, and that comes in multiple ways. One is recycling. Correct. You don't need to manufacture new things every time if all things still work. The other one is maybe changing materials, which require a bit less of processing.
Absolutely, more efficient.
Production, yeah.
About even using about the items that you don't really use when you cars or apartments, when you don't need them. You can, as I said, you can monetize them.
Yeah.
And invest smarter, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's this idea exists in multiple shapes and forms. if your car sits in the parking lot most of it, or your garage most of the time, why not rent it out, right?
Correct.
Make some money. If you have like extra room in your house, rent it out. If you have a garage which you don't use, rent it out, so be more efficient, and also this will allow you to make money. Free tips. We're going to start our own business series.
And people, they're more familiar with that. They are more into fashion sharing economy. I think this is the future, honestly. There are people there like becoming more familiar after Airbnb, after Uber, after those like peer-to-peer marketplaces as Depop and Poshmark.
Mm-hmm.
They can ship themselves. They can take pictures already. They're also developing their business skills.
Yeah. By the way, check out, this is the new studio of an amazing company that is actually a charitable organization supporting filmmaking in Bay Area called BraveMaker. So here is all their contacts. If you love watching movies or making them, if you are into acting, BraveMaker creates a platform for media creators like me, like you, like with you, we talked about possibly making like commercial video for you, which we are going to do at some point quite soon. We can talk about this as well. Charitable organization, every donation can be tax deducted. There is a film fest coming up actually in the end of this month. I need to send you the invitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just, that's the place to be. And Redwood City, it's the Hollywood of Bay Area. All right, so thanks BraveMaker for having us, and we're going to do more stuff in this new studio. The following conversation covers topics of psychedelic drugs use, which are illegal in the United States and other countries. Sublime Studios and its affiliates and partners do not advocate or endorse the use of such substances.
I had this conversation last week with a friend of mine from Seattle.
Yeah.
Didn't see her like 6 months. So she was telling me about. She's also a female entrepreneur, and she was telling me about this place in Oregon. I don't know if you ever heard of ayahuasca.
Yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah, never tried, but she was telling me about this place, and I believe she's going there like in 3 weeks or so. So I'm really excited to hear the experience. I'll let you know also.
Ayahuasca is a controlled substance, and it's prohibited in the United States. Somewhere like in South America, I think there are those, ayahuasca trips. There are documentaries.
I think Peru.
Yeah. Peru, potentially, yes.
Yes.
So there are ayahuasca trips, and ayahuasca is basically it's a very strong hallucinogen. It's basically substance which makes you see, how they say, makes you see God. What I know is that if you're looking for amazing experiences coming from within of you, then you can probably try, magic mushrooms. By the way, magic mushrooms are
what are those?
Mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
Magic mushrooms are, were just legalized in, I think, in Colorado. So, yeah, probably more states will
legalize
follow.
them, yeah.
Not sure about ayahuasca status. In Peru, though, there are documentaries on YouTube where people actually go in on this 3-day fully immersed experience. And what happens is, ayahuasca is very, very strong, extremely powerful. So the way to take it is, again, based on documentaries, never taken it myself. Based on documentaries, the way to take it is you need to have a guide into the experience, and they're called like shamans.
I heard you need to prepare,
you need to prepare
clean the body before you are taking
because
ayahuasca.
You will be vomiting like crazy.
Wow,
yes.
seriously?
It's really powerful stuff.
Sounds horrible.
I'm not here to judge, though. So you need a guide into this experience because you will start seeing things which might potentially drive you like totally insane, and that's where somebody who knows, who is familiar with those experiences, might make this whole experience a bit better for you. The reason why it's 3 days because they start with a very small dose and then they increase. The next day it's more and then it's more. And then you go on those, many hours trips where you like...
You are high for 3 days. Sounds like that.
Technically, you are high for 3 days. Yes.
Okay.
That's one way to maybe feel a bit more of your life. Or you can just start businesses and be an entrepreneur.
You ask me like what advice I could give to the people that are afraid to start business. Probably if you say that they can see the God, they can try ayahuasca, and then probably it will change everything.
If you have like maybe an hour, during the weekend, do you go out? Do you like?
I do go out with my friends.
Hang out with your girls, with your like boyfriends. Who I don't know whether you have family here. Are you married or you're not married?
I'm engaged, yes, and usually I spend my weekend with my fiancé. His family, he has an amazing family. They are in Boston. We actually will visit them for Thanksgiving. But usually, I will spend time with him if I'm free during the weekends, and with a few friends of mine. Just hiking, random stuff. I'm in love. It will sound childish, but I love Harry Potter. I read the books, I watched the movies. So Boston, it reminds me of Hogwarts.
Yes.
Somehow.
There's lots of red brick there.
Correct.
Especially like in the Cambridge area, if you go there. The best time to be in Boston is August, September.
August and September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they have beautiful and warm summers. Good thing about East Coast that they have 4 seasons. Same we do in Moldova. We have very cold winters and very hot summers. And Boston reminds me of my home country. Yeah,
it's also very humid, which comes with a different way to perceive the temperature. So when it's cold, I don't recommend to be in Boston basically from late October till, I don't know, May.
It's freezing, probably, right?
It's not just freezing. The weather can be like, even like in January, like one day is, like it's like super cold and you have to have 15 layers on you and whatnot. But then the other day it can be melting and pretty much like, the sun is out and it's very enjoyable. So there's a bit of unpredictability there for sure, but also it's very rainy.
I'm okay with the rain. I used to live in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there is no other city in the U.S. which is more rainy than Seattle. Yeah. I went to Thailand, I guess 4 months ago, and my hair was like, crazy because of their level of humidity.
Yeah. So Thailand, we can talk about. Do you want to talk for a bit more, or do you do?
Up to you.
We have time.
Yeah. I love Thailand, and I can tell you why. I love animals so much. I was going crazy. Honestly, I think this is the best vacation in my life, and only because I met so many animals: elephants, monkeys, goats, everything. I can show you the pictures, but I played with elephants, and they had this baby elephant. I honestly felt so bad because they were on chains, which I don't even want to ride an elephant after that. I feel bad for them. And honestly, I was playing with them and crying from happiness. And monkeys, they have this monkey heel. Those are, honestly, it's crazy. We had this bottle of water in our hand. So the monkey, she showed up and she was like trying to steal the bottle of water. And she did it in the end. Honestly, she did it in the end because I had this maxi dress. So she grabbed me and she was like doing like this. And with the other hand, showing me that she wants a bottle. Can you imagine? They are really so smart. You basically have to hide the food from them. Otherwise, they will chase you and until you are will give the food.
Well, there is a reason why we evolved from the same ancestor. It's like brain studies show that there had to be a trade-off because, well, what happens in the skull is that there is very, very limited space. And to be smart, you need to have space to have enough neurons and enough capacity to produce connections. You see, so in monkeys cannot really talk with their voice, because the very same center in their brain that we use to talk, for them it drives.
I think they can learn sign language.
Yeah, they can use sign language. So they definitely recognize words, and they recognize different notions, ideas, and they can communicate back to you, and they understand what you're saying if you use the sign language. You see, but this brain center that we use for speaking, for them it's more about like geospatial coordination or something. So something which makes monkeys very like agile and very fast in the physical world, and we as also primates, we don't have, because evolution had to do a bunch of trade-offs. And that also goes around like strength, like specifically like gorillas, like they extremely strong animals. You never saw a gorilla at the gym, because gorillas don't really need to go to the gym. They are strong enough. Any gorilla without even special training can be stronger than, maybe the fastest boxers of human species. So it's interesting how having common ancestors but different environments and different goals bred those new species, and I'll go into one of my favorite topics about genetics and basically species and whatnot. But I wouldn't say that monkeys are that much of a different from us. They just use different components. You have limited space for components, and you can only pack. You have to make choices what to pack, and then as soon as you packed the organism, you can have monkeys which are smart enough to actually know what they want and how to get it, but they don't behave in the same way as we behave.
They certainly are.
Yeah. There are lots of also very smart creatures. Elephants are very smart. Especially elephants never forget.
They can never forget. Yeah. I was just about to say.
There's so much space in their brain that just, unlimited memory technically.
Incredible, right?
Yeah.
I wish my family was here. Honestly, I would spend all my free time with them. But I hope one day I can bring them to the US.
Yeah. What stops you? I guess you probably need. Well, I guess you are in the permanent resident now.
Correct.
This is how you were able to actually, a lot of entrepreneurship is kind of correlated with immigration, and that also comes from, the different ways you can immigrate, and one way is to work for an employer, and then get sponsored for the permanent residency, which happened to me. This was my way of getting where I am. Some people just win the lottery, and then they get green cards. And
lucky enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same as you. Actually, I'm waiting for my citizenship now, so
Did you apply?
Yeah, I already applied. Actually, last month.
Now let's talk about this. How's the process now? I heard it's they changed the exam a bit, and also it takes maybe over a year since the moment of application.
Well, I think it depends from a state to state, because I know someone in state of Illinois, so she got her test and interview basically, and her citizenship in the same day, which is crazy. And I have, I also read online, and people, they are saying it, as I said, depends from state to state, but it gets, you can get up to a year. For example, I filed last month, so I'm still waiting.
Oh, so that's fresh.
Yes.
I see.
I didn't get a response or something, but I can see my status online, so it says like, I guess it's 7 months. It says like up to 7 months. Again, I can get a letter from them probably in 2 weeks or in 2 months. Who knows?
Yeah, I think they've done an amazing job in actually...
you can track everything online. You can see your status,
right.
which is
They've done
great.
an amazing job with their website. Like I was... So when I was going through immigration, it was all about like paper mail. You send everything, like in parcels and envelopes, and then
Seriously?
Yeah, like 3 weeks after you might get a response from them, that everything was accepted, or they need more documents. Like now, what happened? I had to go and do like green card renewal, and I had to go and upload, documentation of why am I eligible for the renewal, and they send their response back to me as a PDF file, which I can download and just use on my own. So no paper, no exchanging like this paper mail at all. It's just so streamlined. This is what was missing back in the day, and what's even
what a waste, right?
Yeah, of course. You can save all this, all this paper. But also now they built in like a chat bot on their website, which can answer a bunch of questions, and then they can give you a real person who actually is attached to your case. So if you have questions to the immigration officer, then there is a chance you can just chat to them and not wait for invitation for the interview.
Yeah, I use their chat, by the way.
Yeah.
It took like, I guess, less than 10 minutes, basically. Then, and someone was available online for me to help me.
Yeah, so USCIS can be cool. Who would think, right? Okay, Lena, wonderful. Yeah, let's wrap up. I think we had a really good talk today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very good story. So in the closing, is there anything specific you wanted to address to the audience? You can talk into that camera.
Yeah, I would love to say, if there are women that have the closets full of clothes they don't really use, sign up for ClosetCycle, list your wardrobe, make money, and make good for the environment. And don't forget, buy less and borrow more.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful way to close. Basically, it's the statement of the mission of your company, I guess, right?
Correct. Yeah, buy less, borrow more.
Right. But also, I think the message we are trying to convey is do not be afraid of becoming an entrepreneur. Do not postpone your dreams.
Do not be afraid to fail, basically, because it's better to fail than be regret later.
Exactly. And like I truly believe that a lot of new talent is coming from the small businesses driven by women, because women are amazing. Honestly, and also extremely talented. It just, for myself, I see an opportunity to support like young girls like you with spreading the word and bringing additional attention. So, Lena, ClosetCycle, socials are here, website, follow her on the Instagram, fill the form, try the new service. If you have stuff which you just sits in your closet, well, there are two things you can do with this: either donate and make no money, or make some money with ClosetCycle.
Correct. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.